Hello, I have Citra Nelson Bottle Fly from Wunderkammer. Wunderkammer beer is like a guest brewing project at Hill Farmstead, and you can actually find their beers sold other places in Vermont sometimes. That's where I got this. And I've had the Mosaic Bottle Fly and really like that, so I thought this definitely warranted a review. So I think it's the same sort of thing. Mixed fermentation, beer. They call it a pale ale that's dry hopped. This was bottled, or was brewed March 1st, 2019. So I think I don't know, it was bottled much later. This is like the newest bottle fly, so still pretty fresh, especially these Brett bottle conditioned beers preserve the hops quite well. Citra and Nelson sounds like an interesting combo, and we might have some bubbling up happening. Oh, that wants to get out of there. Ooh, it's in a cool green bottle. We'll see if there's any skunking on this one. Kind of doubt it. But this is a style of beer that I feel like people were doing more like 5 years ago, doing like hoppy mixed fermentation and like hoppy Brett beers and stuff. And at the time, I was like, this is my favorite style. And sometimes it's not done that well. Sometimes it's too bitter and too dry, and they use some Brett strain that makes them all aspirin-y. We'll see how this one is. Very carbonated, extremely pale. A little bit of haze in there. Big old head. And it smells like very big on the sort of, Flintstones, vitamins, Smarties, Brettanomyces funk that blends in with fruitier Citra Nelson like hops. A little bit of grass, a little bit of just slightly kind of medicinal Brett, but not in a bad way. People don't like all weird Brett flavors, and these beers generally don't get the highest ratings. Since this is from Hill Farmstead, it's going to have a pretty high rating, but I think that's why these beers aren't super popular, because people just can't get used to a lot of the funky Brett flavors. Like even in a lot of fancy sour beers, people just want sour and fruit and barrel and winey flavors, but they can't take the funk. And this is pretty funky. It's not quite in-your-face manure barnyard. It's staying on the fruitier side of things, but it's a very unique, distinct aroma. Very light and fluffy on the tongue. Very dry. Same basic flavors, aroma. A little delicate, actually. And I don't think these are barrel aged. A lot of other Wunderkammer beers are, but they don't say that. For this one, and I'm not kidding, I don't think they need the barrel aging, and the tannins would just make it too dry probably. The head is still sticking around. But it's amazing how the carbonation from the Brettanomyces just like makes it float on your tongue. It's so airy, but not ultra watery. I think this is like 5.5%. Doesn't say in the bottle, but 5.5 or 6. I think that's what these bottle flies tend to be. It's very nice. Not my favorite kind of hoppy Brett beer. Oh yeah, it's also very low on the tartness. They say mixed culture, but they might just mean like mixed culture of different yeasts. There's probably a little bit of some bacteria like lactobacillus in here, but it's not giving it a big sour lactic punch, which is what a lot of people like. This doesn't have that, and I like a lot of Brett beers that don't have that, because you can really appreciate all the funky weird Brett stuff. This one is not my favorite. I think I probably like the Mosaic Bottle Fly more. This is just a little bit too dry for me. Maybe I would have liked it more, right after they released it, and before like the yeast eats some more of the sugars. But I like these hoppy Brett beers when there is some some more body and some more sweetness, and it makes it more juicy and tropical and luscious on the tongue. This one is like very, very light and airy. It makes it pretty subtle, but it does have a bit of that bitter aspirin pill mixed in with, you know, fruity vitamin type flavors, almost a chalky antacid, like tropical berry antacid sort of flavor, like Tums, but very drinkable. But yeah, I can't say it's my favorite. It's done really well, but I just like things a little bit sweeter. It deserves a 4, at least, but it's not perfectly to my taste. So a lot of people might really like it though, and I'm gonna keep trying the bottle flies if I see them. Goodbye.